Hello. Today we will talk about all the arguments in favor of God. God's first argument is evidential. The evidential argument from evil is one of the ways Christian apologetics addresses the problem of evil. This argument is based on the contradiction between the existence of evil in the world and the belief in an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent God. Here are some key aspects of this argument. Contradiction with God's properties. According to the divine attributes, God must be omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. However, the existence of evil in the world contradicts his all-love, if he truly adores all his creatures, or his omnipotence, if he cannot stop or eliminate evil. Thus, the argument posits a contradiction between the existence of God and the existence of evil. Questions posed. The argument usually poses questions such as, why does God allow suffering and evil to exist in the world if he is omnipotent and loving? Couldn't he save all suffering people without creating evil? The concept of free will. Some apologists use the concept of free will to explain the existence of evil in the world. They argue that God has given humans the freedom to choose, and evil arises from people's choices to commit evil acts. However, this concept of free will also raises the question of why God does not intervene to prevent crime and suffering. God's next argument is moral. The moral argument for the existence of God is one of the ways apologetics in Christianity justifies the existence of God on the basis of moral principles. This argument is based on the idea that the existence of objective moral standards requires the existence of a higher source that defines these standards. Here are some key aspects of this argument. The objectivity of moral principles. God's argument from morality is based on the assumption that there are objective moral principles that are independent of individual opinions or cultural differences. These principles are seen as an integral part of the world order that cannot be explained without the existence of a higher source. Support for moral standards. The argument asserts that the existence of moral standards, such as right, wrong, justice, and mercy, requires the existence of God as the supreme lawgiver who sets these standards and makes them binding. Order and purpose. The divine argument from morality argues that the existence of God gives order and purpose to the moral world by helping people understand the value and meaning of moral actions and duties. God's next argument is personal experience. The God experience argument is a type of apologetics that attempts to justify the existence of God on the basis of personal experiences or feelings. This argument is based on the fact that many people claim personal experiences with God that they consider to be convincing evidence of his existence. Here are some of the key aspects of this argument. Personal testimony. Many people of faith claim personal experiences with God, such as prayer, feeling God's presence, spiritual experiences, or experiencing answers to prayers. They find these experiences very personal and convincing. Inner conviction. People who have these kinds of personal experiences often feel an inner conviction that it was an encounter with God or spiritual forces. They may view the experience as a confirmation of their faith and as proof of the existence of God. Impossibility of objective proof. Since personal experiences are subjective and cannot be verified or reproduced for others, this argument does not provide objective evidence for the existence of God. Thus, it may be strong for those who have such experiences, but less convincing for others. God's next argument is Pascal's wager. Pascal's wager is one of the ways apologetics can justify belief in God. This argument was formulated by the French philosopher and mathematician Blaise Pascal in the 17th century. The main idea of the argument is that belief in God is a rational choice from the point of view of reason and the interests of personal well-being. Here are the key aspects of this argument. Two possibilities. Pascal suggests that belief in God should be viewed as weighing two possible scenarios. the existence of God and the non-existence of God. He argues that these are the two possibilities that matter to a person, and they should consider each of them: gain and loss. Pascal analyzes the gains and losses associated with each of these scenarios. If God exists and man believes in him, then he has the opportunity to experience eternal happiness in paradise. If God does not exist, but a person still believes in him, then he or she has nothing to lose. However, if a person does not believe in God and God exists, then he or she risks losing eternal happiness. A rational choice. Given these possibilities, Pascal concludes that it is more rational to believe in God, since in this case only gain or zero loss is possible, compared to a large loss in the other case. God's next argument is math. The God argument based on mathematics is a mode of apologetics that relies on mathematical principles and concepts to justify the existence of God. This argument uses mathematical logic and comparison to prove that God's existence is probable or even necessary. Here are the key aspects of this argument. The teleological aspect. The God argument based on mathematics starts from the assumption that the universe conforms to certain mathematical laws and structures that can be discovered and understood. According to this approach, the mathematical beauty and harmony in the universe indicate the presence of an intelligent and divinely created order. Argument from design. Mathematics can be used to analyze complex structures and systems in the universe, such as geometric shapes, physical laws, or even fractal patterns. These structures may be indicative of intelligent design and superstructure that can only be explained through the presence of a divine creator.